G'day guys, so in the first video I said there was two ways of hiding the turrets on your boat. So in part 2 we're going to look at the second way of doing it. Since it's meant to be a disguise, it's good to have more than one way of doing it. The advantage of doing it this second way is that you can have a square boat, but the disadvantage is it's a little bit harder to reset. Anyway, get a pillar out, grab the rudder and centre it over the mast. Place a pillar half a square back, then a pillar half a square forward, demolishing them as we go. Place a foundation next to that. Demolish the pillar. Pillar within the foundation. Demolish the foundation and the foundation over the mast. Okay, so the foundation is now one level above the raft. The standard foundation that I always use. Well, nearly always. Now to drop it twice over the rudder. So start with a pillar on the edge of the middle foundation. Make sure it's at the lowest snap point. I'm hitting RB button to find it. Then a pillar in the centre of that foundation, again at the lowest snap point. Now we can drop a foundation 2 levels lower underneath the rudder and fill in the remaining foundations. Now I am going to extend it one line out the back, so thatch ceilings, and snap the foundation underneath. Okay, the foundation's laid. Now we want wood walls around the side. Leave a gap where the door will be. Okay, now pick a spot where you want a pillar to be. In this case, front and centre. Now half a square away you're going to have to find the lowest snap point. Again, you're going to have to use the snap point cycling button, which is RB on Xbox. I don't know what it is on PlayStation or PC. Demolish the first pillar and place another one in the centre, again at the lowest snap point. Now with the pillar lowered this far, anything built off it will act as a separate structure to that built off the foundation. So now another pillar up. And now you can start building the ceiling off the top of that pillar. Okay, so now what you want to do is hang walls off that ceiling. They will overlap the bottom ones a little bit. Okay, so we have left a gap where the door will be. That's for good reason, and I'll show you why. If we build the bottom one in first, the top one will be obstructed. So for the door, hang it from the top first, then build off the foundation on the bottom. Yeah, we'll have to duck to get through this door. Okay, so now we can put the internal ceiling in. This will hold the auto turrets up. A ramp and ladder up where the door is, so can access the top. You will have to duck to get through the top floor. And up here you can place all your auto turrets down. So I'll just throw one into each square. And let's speed this up. Okay, so now for the generator. We're going to put this on the lowered foundation where the rudder is. That'll keep it from sticking out the roof. Now you'll want to keep that generator on because the back of the turrets will stick out the top of the roof when they're turned off. Now an inclined cable with an outlet. Now make sure your generator's on and go power up your turrets. And load them up or lest you look like a fool. Anyway, that's all we really need on this boat, but we have some pieces left over. We're going to put a bed down and a smithy because you always want at least a smithy and a bed. Now this boat is pretty close to being maxed out, but we'll just see how many pieces we've got left. So 1, 2, 3, and that's it. 3 more pieces. Until we hit that 88 piece limit. So you can use those to stick a few more turrets on if you want. The more firepower the better. Okay, so if you watch the first video, you'll know what happens if you demolish this pillar. There is 2 pillars there, so make sure you demolish the top one, so you don't have to re-lower it. Pull people around the boat, then surprise them with up to, 13 turrets in this case. Although I've laid 10 down. And this is why I'm using wood. Wood is a lot more resistant to explosions than what stone is. And it needs to be able to take that one rocket hit, giving you time to pop the top. See, stone is really bad versus explosions. And you want your boat to look as harmless as possible anyway, and that's what wood does. Just make sure they can't get an explosion through, as it'll take out half your turrets. Anyway, let's go see this boat in action. So you don't need to just use it to conceal turrets. $10 dimorphodons in this case. Now, as I said at the start, using this method of concealment is a little bit harder to reset. And the reason is you have to remove that internal ceiling, as you won't be able to build walls down through the ceiling. You'll have to pick the turrets up, demolish the ceiling, place the side walls back down, then the ceiling back, and then put the turrets back on. And remember, with the door frames, you have to place the top one down first. Anyway, that's it, guys. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch that as well. That'll give you a different way of doing it. What do you want for the next video? I can do a motorboat war build or another person trapping video. Your choice. Tell me in the comments below.